Not Her by Damien Eastman. The person across the table from me wasn't Rebecca. She wasn't my best friend. She had her hair, the color of a blazing sunset the moment before it disappeared behind the horizon. It was tousled from sleep. The only light in the room came from over the sink, behind the thing that wasn't Rebecca. The warm yellow light was blocked out by her head. Streaks crawled in at the edges of her face. Rain splattered against the windows, making their own chorus of tambourines. Becca loved the rain despite how depressing it was, because it was moody and depressing and mysterious. For all of the reasons everyone loved her. For all of the reasons I hated it. The wind picked up, and it was far too loud. If I screamed, no one would hear me. Cecilia, my name left Rebecca's mouth in a melodic tone, capped with a giggle. Normally, I'd assume she had found my drunkenness amusing rather than frustrating. Rebecca made a show of being unhappy whenever I showed up at her apartment, calling her like a hungry cat until she let me in. But then she'd laugh it off. Times when she knew that I needed her to laugh with me. The laugh that had been a bell became hollow. She smelled like Rebecca, of clean linen and that orange tea she's been obsessed with for the last few months. The sleeves of the cardigan that hung off her shoulders had spots on it stained from that tea. She would have moved on to a new fixation in a few more weeks. Her eyes, light brown with golden flecks, eyes that I'd been so happy to see when I woke up in the morning after impromptu drunken sleepovers, these were not those eyes. I should have noticed earlier. The moment this thing opened the door. I was so stupid. I didn't notice until we sat down at her kitchen table with her between me and the door. Rebecca's head tilted slightly, and it happened again. Her eyes flashed white, like a deer, like a badger, like a coyote, like an animal. The whole illusion fell apart. Every detail was wrong, a degree off. Another giggle. Cecilia, are you okay? You look freaked out. Rebecca leaned forward, resting her chin in her palm. The air in my lungs stilled as I nodded. Sorry, you just got back from a trip. I shouldn't have shown up out of nowhere. I gripped the table, ready to push up and make a break for the door. Come on, you're a terrible liar, she said. You've never been sorry for showing up like this. Her body shifted slightly. Rebecca and I were always about the same size ever since we first met in our freshman year of high school. Nearly a decade of friendship, and it took me far too long to see that this wasn't her. Becca and I were large in our own ways. I was the sun, too bright, abrasive, cancerous, and burning. She was the northern star, simple, elegant, effortless, the brightest among all stars. The sun is special because it's the only one in the sky. This Rebecca leaned in, simply shifted her weight, but she was so much bigger than me, despite not being an inch taller. My stomach sank and my grip tightened. I should go, I muttered, but made no attempt to move. Because I just got back from a camping trip? I nodded, stupidly. I knew you'd do this, she said. Her finger traced the edge of a mug that had been left out. It's part of the reason I agreed to go. I've never been a fan of camping, but you had your boyfriend and I knew you'd get jealous that I went with friends that you didn't even know. I knew that you'd do this. We both did. You wanted an excuse to ruin your relationship, right? Yes. Shut up, I whispered. It's okay, Rebecca smiled. I think it's nice to be honest. Now, Cecilia, is there anything you want to be honest with me about? I'm not the one hiding something. I think we both are. What did you do to her? I asked. I could make a sprint for the knife block. The counter wasn't far. Why don't you two just date? She asked, the soft smile on her face, lips laced with poison. What? You two are obsessed with each other. I don't understand why you two keep dancing around it, she said. She knew why. If she knew everything Rebecca knew, she knew why. Becca could never accept that part of herself. I pushed myself to my feet, the chair legs scraping against the floor. That thing just smiled. It didn't move an inch. I'm braver than her, she said. I swallowed down whatever noise threatened to climb out of my throat. You're not her. I tried to make my words toxic, but they came out wet. No, but I'm the closest that you'll ever get. Shut up. She put her hands up in mock surrender. You can leave. I won't stop you. Or we can do what you came here to do. We can sleep in my bed together, imagining what we shouldn't, to keep up this little game. Or we can take that extra step. Her hands rested on the table, shoulders relaxed, a honey-coated smile on her face. I love you, Cecilia. I hated her. I finally heard Becca say it, but it wasn't her. I stood there, my stomach twisting. She knew my answer. Rebecca stood up, took my hand in hers, and guided me deeper in, away from any escape. This monster knew exactly what it was doing. A monster that hunted with words and feelings, that let me bare my neck for it. I sunk into a bed that smelled like oranges and clean linen, knowing that was the best that I could ever have.